first experiences of losing a friend. Hello my loves and welcome back to another video. I am starting off strong with some beautiful lighting, I must say, coming in through the kitchen. I made a cake because I had visitors coming, and I used the recipe that I made a couple of videos ago for a blueberry and lemon cake. But this time I switched up the recipe because I wasn't confident that everybody would like the texture of the last cake that I made. So this one I played around with the ingredients. Last time I used a lot of Greek yogurt and 1 egg, whereas this time I used 3 eggs and the equivalent of 1 egg was Greek yogurt. So I flipped it round and I think it was really delicious and very therapeutic to make it, and I love the batter. The batter is so tasty and beautiful and it's a lovely colour. I don't know if the blueberries neutralise it or something, but I just want to make a lemon cake every day. Well, every 3 days, because that's about the time it takes to finish it if I'm being not greedy. If you didn't watch the other video, I will give you a quick run through of the ingredients. So I had 200 grams of butter, which is a block of salted butter, and then 225 grams of self-raising flour, 225 grams of white caster sugar, 3 eggs, and this time I used 4 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, where in the other recipe I used a lot more than that. You then zest 1 lemon unwaxed into the batter, and then I popped some frozen blueberries in there, but you could use fresh as well. And for the top you just mix lemon juice and white caster sugar and you pop some holes in the cake and you pour it over. I cooked it at 170 for about an hour, having the blueberries in there and the yogurt. You've got some extra moisture than a typical batter, so do bear that in mind when you're cooking it. You might want to cover it with a bit of tin foil if it starts going more brown at the top. The cake turned out beautifully and it was a hit with everybody, so if you want to make a cake for guests, this is definitely the one. Is cooling down a touch. Being out in it. I can't get ready yet, it's too hot and sweaty. With that cake, that's a bit more of a traditional cake by not having the yogurt in it, but it only has like 1 egg's worth of yogurt, so about 4 tablespoons. I would say if you like traditional cakes, this is very light and airy. But if you're if you like moist cakes more, you'll like the yogurt, the like 3 eggs worth of yogurt with 1 egg. Whereas this was 3 eggs, 1 yogurt. Does that make sense? It is nice. Lovely texture. I think this would be a safer option if you're making it for people, because the other texture was a bit more preference in my other video. I really enjoy making and drinking iced coffee, and it's a nice little ritual for me in the summer, so I decided I deserved one and used my pretty rose ice cube to do it with. In future, I think it would be wise to try and use the jug for the coffee instead of a mug, because that was quite a lot of liquid lost there. Not that it's much of a problem because I can only fit so much in that glass anyway, but it's quite annoying when it goes all over the side. I don't know if the jug will be big enough, so I will have to have an emergency cup on standby when I test that for the first time. Might put some syrup in there. I'm about to go to the hallway and check what it looks like, because there seems to be this habit of Ollie, when he knows we have guests coming, he says that he'll tidy up, and then it gets closer and closer to the day and he doesn't. So I really hope that it doesn't look like shit down there. Praised be. Other than a few shoes, it's much, much better than I thought. I don't know if this is going to make the hydrangeas far too hot, but I know that they don't like to be in direct sunlight, and we don't really have anywhere at the moment that isn't getting sunlight for nearly all of the day that's like flat for the big pot to sit. I've done a makeshift cover, but I don't know if it's going to just make them sweat too much. But every day they look okay, and then they look like they're going to die. We decided to take our guests to the beautiful Durgan beach. Lots of you love it and are familiar with it. I do feel conscious of the fact that I've gone there quite a lot in the last month. It's just because we're getting used to the area that we live in and trying to enjoy it as much as we can. But I promise you this summer I will take you to more of Cornwall, places on the north and south coast, and we will explore together, and I'm really committed to doing that and I'm excited to do that. So please know that's coming in future videos. But at the end of this video I do take you to Looe, and I have a lovely story about Looe and why I love it so much. So I'll see you there later.
Can't even hear it, and it's quite churned up, isn't it?
My granddad taught me how to make mushroom risotto quite a long time ago, and it has become a staple for me because it's affordable, very comforting and tasty, and I have quite a lot of tips and tricks for how to make a good one and what to add to make it nutrient dense, I guess. So here's my more in-depth way of making it. So my first tip would be to cook your garlic, onion and mushrooms together with butter and all the seasonings. Cook them about 3/4 of the way and then take them out of the pan. I feel that if you can help it, it is best to not add water to mushrooms. They lose a lot of their flavour, and I don't think they hold flavour very well when they're cooking in lots of chicken stock. The next thing that I do is add the risotto rice to the pan, and I fry it off for a moment because once I was watching Stanley Tucci's Italian documentary about food, and they did a risotto masterclass, and they said to toast the rice before cooking it. Toasting in the pan for around 4 minutes. You want to have your stock for around 8 servings or anything over 4 servings of risotto. I use 2 stock cubes. You could use 1 carton of fresh chicken stock from like M&S or wherever you get it. I don't really use that because it's a bit more expensive. That would have more nutritional value and a stronger flavour and way less salt, I would assume. So you want all of your stock on a consistent heat on the hob so that it stays hot. Otherwise, you're going to really slow down the cooking time because you're going to have to keep bringing your risotto pan back up to the temperature that it was at. You don't want it to be on too high of a heat, but you want it to be simmering. If it's boiling, then you're going to lose water and lose flavour. So definitely be wary of the temperature. Ladle in enough so that the rice is just about covered. Stir it and let it cook. You're supposed to stir it quite a lot. I don't stir it constantly, as they say, until the water has nearly evaporated, and then you add another ladle, and I do that until it's cooked. I like it really soft, so when there's a little bit of a bite left to it, that's when I would put in the mushrooms, because you do want to leave enough cooking time for the mushrooms, garlic and onion to really infuse with your risotto rice. So I would add in the rest of the liquid and then mix that up. I added a parmesan rind and butter at the end. You do need the butter, but you don't need the parmesan rind. I also add cheddar in because I love cheddar. I love cheddar more than parmesan in risotto because it's creamier and mixes in really beautifully. But you could use both, you could use one or the other, it's your preference. On this day I popped the lid on the risotto just so it would cook for a little bit longer off the heat. So the nutritional element, things I didn't add in the video but you could add yourself, would be peas, spinach. Definitely love adding lemon and lots of basil or parsley or whatever herb you enjoy most, but there's quite a lot you can do to a risotto to add deliciousness and fibre and make it healthy. If you don't want to add vegetables in, then I guess you could have like lots of rocket with it and pop some balsamic glaze on the top. If you add meat, add it at the stage with the mushrooms and the garlic and onion. My dad and stepmom and sister left today. They came over for a couple of days and stayed. It was really nice. It was very hot. I know I keep saying that, but it's really not my preference when it's this temperature. I just feel like anything I wanted to do with them, I couldn't really. So we did have a really nice time. It's just a shame when the weather's just too much. I got news that my friend had passed away last night. He was a fair bit older than me. He's 59. He was actually my driving instructor for a while, and then after a health issue he had to stop teaching for a year. So that's how we know each other. His daughter texted me off of his phone. He hasn't told me what's happened, she just let me know that he'd passed away. It's the strangest thing because I was meaning to message him. I think it was about 5 days before she texted me. Having moved to Cornwall, I haven't seen him in quite a long time, and we just sort of texted around birthdays, New Year, and caught up every now and then, but not a lot, and I wish I had more. I feel very sad for his daughter. She's a couple of years older than me, and she's an only child, I think, so I can't imagine what it would be like to not have anyone to share the grief with. I'm sure that like aunties and uncles and things, but being that age, he was a fantastic man. He really was, despite the fact that I was 20 when we first met. How old would I have been? 22? 27 now. And we were just had such a great sense of humour, and he was so dedicated to his daughter. She was his absolute everything. He used to talk about her all the time. I think that when she was living in Australia, that's part of where our friendship blossomed, because his daughter wasn't around, and we just had such a lovely friendship. And I remember there were quite a few times where we, like when I wasn't in the mood to do a driving lesson, because I didn't really have much intention of passing most of the time. I was just doing it to please my dad. I didn't really want to drive because I couldn't afford a car. So I was just doing it in quite a relaxed way. And one day I said, I'm really not in the mood for this. And he said, okay, let's turn off here. And we basically drove to one of my favourite places, Blenheim Palace, and drove up to the car park, had some pizza, and yeah, we just had a nice afternoon together. There was another time when I thought I'd just share a silly story with you, because it came to me last night when I was about to go to sleep. We'd just finished a driving lesson. I heard his stomach grumble and I said, are you hungry? And he said, I am, but I've not got time. And I said, well, you have to come in quickly. And he's like, no, it's fine. And I was like, no, you have to come in. Let's have a cigarette and a crumpet. I don't smoke anymore, but we used to have cigarettes together. And he sat in my garden, but I never would put the chairs up, so when it rained the seat would be full of water, but you couldn't tell, and I forgot to say anything, and he sat on it, and his whole trousers, all of the bum and the back of his trousers were completely soaking wet. So I gave him some of my pyjama bottoms to change into, some of my pyjama bottoms, until his trousers had tumble dried, and we ate crumpets with a cup of tea. And that's one of my favourite memories, because it's not the most common thing for a man in his 50s to be good friends with a woman in her 20s, but I think this channel is a beautiful place for that, because I connect with so many of you, and our age just does not matter, because you are people that share values that I share and care about things that I care about, and Sean was the same. We both had Irish family, lots of Irish family. We had the same sense of humour, and he was just so emotionally supportive of me. He was so supportive. He was really like a father figure to me. But the reason that I wanted to talk about it now, instead of waiting a few days until I could be composed, is because I think sometimes with grief and losing people, you can think all of these things like, I wish I got in touch with him last week. I wish I texted him. I'd been thinking about how one of my close friends, he taught her to drive before I went to him. So, and my friend Taylor, she introduced me to Sean for the driving lessons, and we were both at school very, very anxious people, and we really, really struggled emotionally, and Sean teaching her to drive completely transformed her life. And last week I was thinking about it, I don't know why, because she passed over 10 years ago, so I was just thinking about how if she hadn't have met Sean and she hadn't got on with him, then her independence and all of her hobbies and her job that she loves so much, they're things that she couldn't have done potentially, or it wouldn't have happened in the same way. And I thought, wow, that's really amazing that you can meet one person at the right moment who can really help you and build you up. And we had a quick phone call yesterday, and she said that he really built her up, and she can't imagine like having learnt with someone else, because he made us so comfortable and he was so relaxed, and he was a really, really special man. But if you ever have a nice thing you want to say to someone, if you ever feel like someone is really special, you think all of these lovely things about them, then find a way to tell them, whether it's through words or a text, or a letter and phone call. And even if you only do it the once, I think he knows how much he meant to me. Just reminds me to let everybody know. If you think highly of them, lots of you are so kind to me, and you don't hold back with the lovely things that you say, and I think we need much more of that in the world. Lose people unexpectedly, you can't prepare for, I should have said this, I should have said that. That's just not realistic. But if we can make an effort in the way that we operate every day, just every so often, just those things mean so much. Taylor was saying that for her last lesson after she passed her test, Sean said, keep the money and go and buy yourself a drink instead of paying for the lesson. Like, that's the kind of man he was. He was really spectacular. Because I had texted him back in February, and I texted Sean to say, I miss you because I just met this man and he reminded me of you. And I said, I hope you're doing really, really well. And he didn't reply to that bit, and then it makes you think, maybe I should have pushed, or maybe I should have asked questions. But I don't really know what was going on with him. Or also, just to be clear, I don't know what he's passed away from. I don't know if he was unwell. I don't know what's happened. I know much of what's been going on, because since I moved to Cornwall and not doing my driving lessons with him, we just had really short conversations, and I wish that I'd had a call with him or something, because I really did miss him a lot. That is one of the things I don't like about getting older, is how often people become unwell or pass away. These things always teach us to love more and to open up more and to give more. A few years ago, Sean wasn't very well. He'd been in the hospital and he had to stop working for a while, and I was worried that he wouldn't have anyone to spend Christmas with because he wouldn't be able to drive anywhere. I remember ordering a food shop of just loads of different savoury bits and snacks and whatever I could think of that he might like, because he never used to eat enough. Every time I spoke to him, he'd always had something really minuscule in the morning. I don't know why. He wasn't much of a foodie really, but I just stocked him up and sent a Sainsbury's delivery to his house, and he was so grateful because he didn't live with anybody and his daughter was away, and he was so grateful for it, and he was so thankful for it, and he deserved that and so much more. And when I think about how thankful he was for that little thing, and I just feel very grateful that I got to have someone like him as a friend, because he was very generous to me. And I'm glad that I got to do
one small thing for him that I can look back on and know that he knew that I loved him and appreciated him. So I guess it's nice to be able to reflect in that way and know that that I did get to show him in ways that I love him and I think highly of him and that I care about him. So I'm glad I have bits to pull from. That's enough sadness and vulnerability for now, but it's a part of life, and I think it's important to talk about our reflections or even our immediate feelings about things, and not just have like these curated versions of events where I've had time to sit down and think about what I want to say. I just really wanted to talk about it, to be honest, because he was so lovely, and I thought one nice thing for me is to talk about how amazing and lovely he was to the people that I care about and people that are so kind to me, because I think if I hadn't have known Sean in person, he very easily could have been like you guys, someone that I connect with and feel so seen and understood. Like, that's how he made me feel, and that's how lots of you make me feel, so it just kind of felt right to share it. But so much love to my Sean. I will miss him always.
Some of you may know that my love for Cornwall started in Looe, because that's where I went on holiday as a little girl, and it's where my nan and my mum went on holiday when they were children. Got generational love for Cornwall, and my nan's parents, so my great-grandparents, who did pass away before I was born, they wanted to buy a shop in Looe and turn it into a little cafe. I can't remember what it was, like a tea room or something. That was their dream, so I feel really lucky that I'm, how many generations down? Four generations down. Woo, and I've been able to move here and make a life here. So we've come back, luckily for Ollie's work, and I thought it would be nice to get out of the house so I wouldn't be sat there thinking about sad things. But then really I have also sat in the car and thought about sad things, but I've had nice views to do it too. So we're going to go for a swim. I've wanted to go for a swim in Hannaford because it's one of the best places for snorkeling because of the rock pools, and I've read a really amazing book about Looe Island and I just love staring over at it. There were two sisters that bought it and lived on it, and my mum and nan and granddad actually, and great grandmother, all went over on a boat once and went to the tea room there. Been very, very, very windy the last 2 days, and in parts of where we live they were saying don't get in the water because
a red flag.
Oh yeah, it was a red flag because the waves, like the breaking waves, were pretty bad.
5
but
to 6
there were
foot.
Yeah, not sure what visibility is going to be like then here, but I can obviously show you the area. I feel that it's quite special that this is Ollie's first proper day out really for his job, kind of, and it's in my favourite place. It feels like it was meant to be, and at the right time too, because I did need the boost of coming somewhere that I know and that I'm comfortable walking around on my own. I FaceTime my nan to show her and it's really nice. It does tend to smell here, but that smells absolutely horrific. Oh, it's all grey. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it doesn't look good. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. It just absolutely stinks and honks. Oh my god, guys. That stench. Wow. I'm ruining the tranquil video, but it's disgusting, I have to be honest. Never in my life have I seen it that colour. That is disgusting. It does.
Right, that guy
That's
said,
the worst visibility I've ever seen.
hold on, as well at some points.
Oh yes. Wow.
It's a bit spicy, isn't it?
It's spicy.
It's out
Oh
of
my
nowhere.
god. Well, this is not the usual. This is supposed to be like when I cut to the relaxing bit of the vlog and the nice music comes on, but it's not that at all. Next time we'll get in there.
them watching out on the post.
We stayed in the church house. It's really, really old. We just thought we'd show you. Now we're going back to the main bit.
Pigeons kissing.
They're sharing food, I think.
It's Ollie's birthday in a few days, but this vlog will have gone out by then. Thank you so much for joining me, and sorry about the sad bits. I just really wanted to remember how much of a wonderful man he was. It felt really therapeutic for me to do that, to share his loveliness and keep his memory alive.